are celebrating together to say that we are united, we are strong, we are proud Canadians.
National pride on full display in East York and around the GTA as people gather to take part in the annual Canada Day Parade. Good evening. The parade was one of hundreds of celebrations across the country to mark Canada's 158th birthday.
The events come amid a surge in national pride as Canadians react to U.S. President Donald Trump's repeated threats to the country's sovereignty. CTV's Natalie Johnson is in East York tonight and joins us now live with more. Natalie.
Well, Zarada, the Canada Day Parade in East York is a tradition that dates back nearly 7 decades. But this year, in the face of economic threats from south of the border, so many Torontonians said it's never been more important to show just how proud they are to be Canadian. In a show of patriotism and pride,
Happy Canada Day, everybody!
East York celebrated community and country.
Everything is amazing about being Canadian.
Looking around, seeing the crowd of people, the community, I'm like, we live with a lot of people that want to celebrate Canada.
The 69th annual East York Canada Day Parade kicking off a day of festivities, family, and fun.
Best place ever, biggest parade ever, oldest parade ever in Toronto, and look at the people.
The best part is they're out with their families. So whether you've lived in East York your whole life or you're part of the family belt, you moved out here in the past couple of years, everyone's celebrating our community, we're celebrating our country, and we're having a ton of fun.
And in the face of economic threats from the United States, this year more than ever, it was flags out,
There you go.
elbows up.
We are so proud as Canadians. We are diverse, that's why we're strong. We take good care of each other, we stand up for each other.
We're nationally under attack by Donald Trump and wanting to make us our 51st state, and the best thing we can do is show our Canadian pride, buy Canadian, and support each other as much as possible.
Buying Canadian very much in full swing at the finish line, whether it be local crops.
We left the farm at 6 o'clock this morning to come down and get set up.
Or intentional ingredients in some very Canadian concoctions.
They got maple barbecue chicken, so which is very, very Canadian. We use the local Canadian maple syrup.
But the food and the flavors are just one of Canada's best qualities.
I like about Canada that most people are nice. How awesome everybody is. They're very welcoming.
Hockey, for sure.
I definitely agree with hockey. All the different types of cultures, I guess. Being Canadian is like having a bunch of different cultures coming to visit your country and stuff. My family's from a different country. They're from Southeast Asia. So, and I just love it here.
A sea of support lining the sidewalks, a community committed to standing up for Canada.
Yes.
The East York community is truly strong, like Canada strong. We bleed Canada. It's the best community. It's the best place to live.
I was born and raised in this country and in this city, and I'm proud to be Canadian. I don't buy anything American, and we're one of the best countries in the world.
158 years after this country was born, this crowd so proud to be Canadian. And to cap off the Canada Day festivities today, there will be a fireworks show here at Stan Wadlow Park. Later tonight, along with other fireworks at Milliken Park in Scarborough, Centennial Park in Etobicoke, and over the lake at Ashbridges Bay. Reporting live, I'm Natalie Johnson. Raheem, over to you.
Thanks for that, Natalie. Now let's head down to the Harbourfront Centre where CB24's Sija Liu is live and seeing how more people in the city are marking Canada Day. Sija.
Hey there, Canadian pride is on full display here at Harbourfront Centre, the hot spot for all your Canada Day celebrations. From a Canada Day made market, everything 100% Canadian, to artists later tonight. And at 10:45 is the grand finale. That is the fireworks show. And we are running into so many people who are proud to be Canadian, whether they're a new Canadian, have been Canadian their whole lives. And joining me right now is Mia and her entire family. They definitely stood out with their Canadian red and white. So Mia, let me ask you, how are you enjoying Canada Day so far?
It's been really fun to spend it also with my family. So in the morning we got here and we had a lunch and we just did some fun activities here, the whole city. And now we're here. Yeah, it's really fun.
So you're Canadian, but some of your family members are visiting from Belgium and Mexico. What do you tell them about what it feels like to be Canadian?
Well, I'm really proud to be Canadian. yeah, it's a great country, and I think they're enjoying it too.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Well, let me talk to your aunt for a second. Catherine, you came here all the way from Belgium, and you were shocked by the patriotism. Tell us about that.
Yes, because we in Belgium, we don't really have that kind of nationalistic feeling. We don't have a flag, or we don't know our national anthem. Like yesterday, Mia told me that the children, that they sing or they have to listen to the national anthem, and I said, like, I only know the chorus of mine, and also the national football team, like, it's very famous for not singing along. So it's very nice to experience a country where lots of immigrants live and see that they're like all proud to be Canadian. So, and that's why I did my part, or we did our part to play along.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Well, welcome to Canada and happy Canada Day. But there is tons to do here tonight, including the fireworks show at 10:45. It is quite busy here when it comes to parking. So, Zoraida, your best bet is to take the TTC down or bike. Not a lot of parking if you're planning on coming down here for the fireworks show tonight.
That's good advice. CP24 Sija Liu. Sija, thank you. And Premier Doug Ford released a Canada Day message on social media featuring several members of his cabinet.
Happy Canada Day. Today's a chance to celebrate the incredible country that we are proud to call home. We've seen Canadians more united than ever before, coming together to protect and stand up for Canada.
Let's come together to celebrate the true North, strong and free. Happy Canada Day.
Together, let's continue working to make our country stronger and more prosperous, and stand up for the true North, strong and free. Today's a chance to celebrate the incredible country that we are proud to call home. Happy Canada Day, and God bless.
In Ottawa, Mark Carney delivered his first Canada Day message as Prime Minister. He says the country will remain stalwart in the face of unprecedented threats to the nation.
158 years ago, a few provinces bet on a big idea, that they'd be stronger together than they ever could be apart. They were right. They became a new federation that's now grown into our strong, bilingual, multicultural, ambitious country. A country built on the values of freedom, democracy, justice, generosity, and humility, because we know that we can always be better. Our story didn't begin at Confederation. For thousands of years, Indigenous peoples have called this land home. And our country's next chapter will be written together in true partnership with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. Our shared history has been marked by inflection points, moments where Canada has had to step up. On the battlefields of Vimy Ridge in World War I, on the beaches of Normandy in World War II, and in the homes of Gander after the 9/11 terror attacks. Now we face another such moment. The world is changing. Old friendships are fraying. Our economy is being buffeted by a trade war we didn't start. Our values are being tested by attacks on democracy and freedoms that we must resist. As the world becomes more divided and dangerous, Canadians are uniting. Together, we will build one Canadian economy, connected by major projects, powered by Canadian energy, transformed by Canadian technology, and crafted by Canadian workers. Together, we're breaking down barriers across this country so you can buy Canadian everywhere and work anywhere. Together, we'll rebuild, rearm, and reinvest in our armed forces, because Canadian leadership is defined not only by the strength of our values, but also by the value of our strength. This is the greatest nation on earth. Together, we'll keep making it even better. Happy Canada Day.
The Prime Minister greeted those who attended the annual Canada Day celebration in Ottawa today. The event features remarks from a number of dignitaries as well as performances by Canadian artists. CTV's Jackie Perez has the details.
Well, thousands of people braved the heat today to celebrate Canada in the nation's capital. Here at LeBreton Flats, it's been a full day of programming and free events. I want to bring in the Dame family. You guys have been here for a little bit. What have you seen so far? How have you been enjoying Canada Day?
It's been nice. We've gotten to celebrate with the community, celebrate our country, and it's just been nice to see everybody and see everybody matching with outfits, and it's really nice.
I love that you said the matching outfits. I see the sea of red and white. Dad, just talk about, have you noticed a shift or just a sense in national pride here?
Yeah, I think in the last few months, seeing Canadians kind of come together, it's been really poignant, and I think it means a little bit more this year.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Enjoy Canada Day festivities. Now, I want to address that earlier today. Prime Minister Mark Carney, he made an appearance here at LeBreton Flats, and he was here just talking about this is his first Canada Day as PM, and he addressed the sense of pride he had, and he was never more proud to say the phrase, "I am Canadian," on a day like today, on Canada's 158th birthday. Also earlier today, we had Ryan Reynolds as well as musician Heather Rankin. They were invested as officers into the Order of Canada by the Governor General. So there was a lot of Canadian pride happening here at LeBreton Flats, and it continues to happen, not just here, but in Parliament Hill as well, where snowbirds were flying over, and that is such an iconic symbol of Canadians and Canada Day. I want to bring in Melanie Bro. You are a part of or in charge of the celebrations that happen here in the nation's capital. Talk to us about just a couple of milestones that happened here so far for this year.
Yeah, so this year we are celebrating some really key moments. Earlier today we had Miss Joan O'Malley join us. She's actually the person that made our first Canadian flag 60 years ago. So we really highlighted the moment with her, which was very touching. In addition, we also celebrated the 45th anniversary of Terry Fox's Marathon of Hope. His brother and a whole bunch of cyclists actually left Vancouver weeks ago and arrived, if you can imagine, here at LeBreton Flats during the noon show, and we paid really an amazing respect to Terry Fox and everything he's done for our amazing country.
What does it mean to you to be Canadian? What makes you proud?
I am proud of the fact that we are such kind people, and I feel like we are all full of love, and that's so important to me. And I'm feeling that and seeing that here right in Ottawa, whether it's at Parliament Hill, Supreme Court, or here at LeBreton Flats. All I'm seeing is lots of smiles, love, hugs. It's all about being Canadian, and that's what we want to celebrate, being Canadian, loud and proud.
Thank you so much, Melanie, for that energy. I really appreciate it. Celebrations continue on well into this evening. Of course, the grand finale will take place here at LeBreton Flats, where fireworks will start off at 10 o'clock and run for about 15 minutes. So again, what a way to celebrate Canada's birthday on its 150th birthday. Jackie Perez, CTV News, Ottawa.
In other news, a major gateway into cottage country is now fully reopened after being shut down for several hours due to a home invasion investigation in Severn Township. OPP received reports of a home invasion in the hillside area east of Huntsville shortly before 5 a.m. They ended up closing Highway 11 between Severn River Road and Cooper Falls Road, as well as between Canning Road and Graham Road. A hold and secure was also issued for the area. OPP have since taken 6 people into custody, and both the road closure and hold and secure have ended. Investigators say they believe additional suspects are still on the loose, traveling in a silver Honda CR-V with the license plate CZFE895.
A 31-year-old man is facing several gun-related charges following a traffic stop in Mississauga. Police conducted the stop in the evening on June 25th in the area of Acorn Place near here, Ontario, and Highway 403. Police say the suspect immediately rammed their cruiser with his vehicle before attempting to escape on foot. He was arrested after a short chase, and police recovered an illegal handgun. 31-year-old Dimitri Hibbert of Brampton now facing several gun-related charges, as well as dangerous operation and failing to stop after an accident. Researchers visited Lucan, Ontario today near London after a tornado touched down in the area yesterday.
There's some markings in the crops here. Tornado went through, left a very clear path. You can see it really well from the drone. Also, there's trees here that had big branches snap.
Residents say the tornado came through quickly on Monday afternoon, with some questioning why a weather alert was never posted. No injuries were reported as a result of the storm. Western University's Northern Tornadoes Project is now analyzing the scene.
Well, more news in a moment, but first, here's a live shot of our city with, of course, the Canadian flag on this Canada Day. And what a day it has shaped up to be. Plenty of sunshine, beautiful temperatures. There may be some rain early this evening, but not to worry. It should all clear by the time of the fireworks displays. Let's take a look at the satellite radar. You can see what I'm talking about. You can see a little bit of satellite activity through the region. Nothing too significant. Any of the rain should pass by about 8 p.m. in time for those fireworks displays, especially down at Ashbridges Bay Park, which begin at 10 p.m. In terms of temperatures, right now, Hamilton still feeling like 32, Niagara Falls feeling like 34. It's 22 degrees out in Owen Sound and 28 degrees in Ottawa. For us at the islands, still plenty of sunshine, feeling into the 30s, both at the islands and at Pearson Airport. Our overnight low tonight, 18 degrees with a mild wind, 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. It's going to be clear. 18 degrees is just about the normal. 16 is the normal for this time of year. There may be some showers tomorrow. It's not going to be a washout by any means, but we'll have those details a little later on in the newscast. Trade talks between Canada and the U.S. have resumed now that the digital services tax has been scrapped.
However, there is still debate over whether the decision was a hit or miss for Canada.
$3.6 billion worth of trade crosses our border every single day with the United States. We can't afford to play with that. We need to make sure we secure that.
The Canadian Chamber of Commerce has applauded the move, but others say Canada needs to stand strong in talks with U.S. President Donald Trump. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he believes Prime Minister Mark Carney should have received something in return for scrapping the tax. He posted online, in exchange, the Prime Minister should insist that the U.S. immediately rescind softwood lumber tariffs, adding, "We need to make gains for our workers in these talks."
In Washington, the U.S. Senate passed Donald Trump's tax break and spending cuts bill today, following a marathon overnight session.
The yeas are 50. The nays are 50. The Senate being evenly divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
The bill passed 51-50 after Vice President J.D. Vance cast the tie-breaking vote. 3 Republicans in the GOP-controlled chamber joined all Democrats in voting against the package. Lawmakers had wrangled for hours, with some Republicans worried the bill will leave millions more people without Medicaid health care. Others are seeking steeper cuts to hold down deficits. The U.S. president spoke after the legislation was passed.
It tells you there's something for everyone. I mean, it's a great bill. There is something for everyone. And I think it's going to go very nicely in the House. Actually, I think it will be easier in the House than it was in the Senate.
The bill now heads to the House of Representatives. Debate begins tomorrow, followed by a vote, and it is likely to be close again. Republicans hold a 220-212 majority in the House.
Dozens of international charities are calling for an Israeli and American-backed aid group in Gaza to disband. The plea comes after repeated incidents of violence against Palestinians seeking aid. At least 7 people were killed seeking assistance in southern and central Gaza between late Monday and early today. Health officials in Gaza say the latest deaths come after Israeli forces killed at least 74 people in Gaza on Monday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to travel to Washington next week to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump has indicated he wants Israel and Hamas to reach an agreement to wind down the war.
A partial verdict has been reached in the sex trafficking trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The jury, made up of 8 men and 4 women, says it has reached a verdict on 4 counts relating to sex trafficking and transportation for prostitution charges. However, the foreperson says they are unable to reach a verdict on account of racketeering and conspiracy. Now, both the defense and prosecution say they want the jury to continue their deliberations. Court is set to resume tomorrow.
Health warnings remain in effect in several European countries amid an ongoing heat wave. The unusually hot weather this month is more typical of July and August. Southern Europe is getting the worst of it, with 40-degree temperatures in some areas. A man died in Italy, where 17 of the country's 27 major cities were experiencing extreme heat. Elsewhere, Barcelona recorded its hottest June in over a century, and the top floor of the Eiffel Tower was closed to visitors. Hundreds of French schools were also closed today. Experts say higher temperatures in the Mediterranean Sea tend to reinforce extreme temperatures over land areas. Well, Canada Day offers a time for people to reflect on the country's history and place on the world stage.
Now, one woman is making it easier to honor Canadians who gave their lives fighting overseas. CTV's Sean Leathong reports.
Oh, I think this is why it's so important to be here.
A Canadian cemetery in France, neatly arranged tombstones for only a few of the thousands of soldiers lost in 2 world wars. And helping Canadians connect to each one has become the passion of one woman.
I've been to well over 100 war cemeteries in Europe.
But this is a Canadian cemetery marked 1918.
Kim Walker has spent years searching for Canadian war cemeteries in Europe and marking each one on a map.
And I've always noticed that the cemeteries and memorials are not exactly busy. There's not a lot of people there, and I just want to make it easier for people to get there.
Walker created the Canada Remembers Guide, a website dedicated to helping Canadians easily find the final resting place for Canadian soldiers killed in both the First and Second World Wars. And there are far more than you may think.
Northern France and Belgium alone, there's almost 1,000 war cemeteries.
The idea began when Walker was in her early 20s. Visiting France, she was helped by a local family who had originally been from Normandy.
One day I said, I can't pay you back for any of this, so why are you so nice to me? And he said, Canadians freed my village.
It was then that Walker began visiting Canadian cemeteries in Normandy and beyond.
But I pulled over to see if there are any Canadians here, and there definitely are.
From the smallest cemeteries on the side of the road to the larger battlefields like Mimi Ridge and Dieppe.
The first time I ever went to Dieppe, I was 23 years old, and it was the first time I'd been to a war cemetery and read those headstones, and you see 19 years of age, 20 years of age. But now I have a son who's 25 years old. And when I go to those cemeteries now, I look at every single one of those headstones and I think, that was somebody's boy. And that makes me really sad.
In creating Canada Remembers Guide, Walker created itineraries showing how close these war cemeteries may be to major cities.
All anyone has to do is look on the site and choose whether or not they want to try departing from Paris or Brussels or Amsterdam. There's lots of options.
The hope is to remove any barriers, allowing Canadians to seek our history in another part of the world easily.
Look, it's just a loop from Paris or it's a loop from Amsterdam. This is doable. You can do this in a day, 2 days if you feel like it, but it's worth going.
Making it accessible to remember what was sacrificed here, in some cases more than a century ago. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Still to come, Mitch Marner says goodbye.
The now former Maple Leaf has released a statement after being traded to Las Vegas. We'll have more on Marner's departure and hear from the player the Leafs received in return when we come back.
I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, it's something most of us have in our homes, dish soap. You may think it's only good for washing dishes, but dish soap has many applications, although there are some that you might see on TikTok or other social media that are not recommended. I'll have that story. That's just ahead.
Dish soap is a kitchen staple, but it can do a lot more than wash pots and pans.
The best brands can tackle all kinds of messes, but there are some chores that are better left to other products. Here's Pat Foran in Consumer Alert.
If you only use dish soap to wash your dishes, you could be missing out. It's been called a cost-effective, soapy superhero of a product, but there are some applications you may see on TikTok or other social media that are not recommended. Dishwashing liquid is a cleaning workhorse that doesn't just tackle your dirty dishes. Got hair dye on your skin? Grab a small amount of baking soda and some dish soap. Need to clean your makeup brushes? Dish soap's got you. Just add 1 part olive oil. It even works wonders to reduce condensation on windows, stop squeaky doors, and clear out a clogged drain. It can also kill those pesky bugs on your plants.
A few teaspoons of dish soap with water in a spray bottle works as a gentle and effective insecticide.
With so many brands and formulations, which one works best on their main job, cleaning dishes? Consumer Reports says there is one standout choice.
The editor's choice was Dawn Ultra Dishwashing Liquid. Its rich suds have kept it ahead of the rest for years.
While dish soap is great for hand washing dishes, it should not be used in your dishwasher. Also, some TikTok suggests using dish soap to brighten your laundry and remove oil stains. But Consumer Reports says this can end up causing problems for your machines.
Using dish soap in a washing machine or dishwasher might seem harmless, but it creates way too many suds, and that can cause leaks, poor cleaning performance, or even damage to the machine over time.
Dish soap is not designed to use on fabrics the way laundry detergent is. A few drops as a spot remover is okay. Just make sure not to use too much, as it can be hard to rinse out. Keep in mind, dish soap is made to cut through oil and grease, so it can strip away your skin's natural oils. It should not be used as a shampoo, as it can damage your hair and irritate your scalp. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Well, the weather turned out nicely today for Canada Day, especially since so much of the stuff going on is outdoors.
Yeah, and you know what? It was interesting because this year on Canada Day, it feels a little weird, the fact that it's on a Tuesday and not on a Monday. But the weather cooperating, I feel like today really does feel like a long weekend for a lot of people. And a lot of people took Monday off too, right?
Well, and Monday was raining, thunderstorms, right?
There you go,
So
right? Yeah.
It all worked out in the end.
I like it. Let's talk about the weather, shall we, in terms of our temperatures currently in the city of Toronto. It's 28 degrees, feeling like 32. A touch warmer in Kingston, feeling like 35, and in Windsor also feeling like 35. Let's talk about these fireworks. We had some yesterday at Canada's Wonderland. Tonight it is at Ashbridges Bay at 10 p.m. It's going to be 24 degrees, feeling like 29, and conditions are going to be clear. We may have some showers around 7 o'clock, but they should all clear by 8 o'clock, and so lots of time to get ready for these fireworks. And again, sunset is at 9:03 p.m. Let's talk about tonight's lows. 18 degrees in the city of Toronto. Normal for this time of year is 16. Everyone right across the board is either at or just above the normal for this time of year. When you wake up tomorrow at 5 a.m., 18 degrees and clear. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, and it's looking like it's going to be a very comfortable day. At 9 a.m., 22 degrees, feeling like 27 when you factor in the humidex. Tomorrow's highs, there is a risk of thunderstorms in the London area. There's also a 30% chance of showers Hamilton to Kingston. We may see some showers in the afternoon. It's not going to be a washout by any means, but just be mindful that you would want to have that rain gear handy around 3 p.m. And we'll see more of that as we show you the camp forecast. When a lot of kids are heading to camp tomorrow, jump ahead to 3 p.m. You can see there's a chance of showers, a risk of a thunderstorm. Still quite warm, 29 degrees, feeling like 34. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Jumping ahead to Thursday, feeling like 28 when you factor in the humidex. The overnight low, this is interesting. The overnight low will be 14 degrees. Normal for this time of year is 16. That's the only day of the week right now where that overnight low is below seasonal. But then on Friday, we jump right back to normal. We may have another bout of showers next weekend. Nothing too significant as the models look right now. Right now, if we jump ahead to next Tuesday, that's when it's looking like it's going to be a significant rainfall. But as I always say, that's a long ways away. Zoraida.
All right. Thanks, Raheem. The Blue Jays were looking for a third straight win as they took on the New York Yankees this Canada Day.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard.
Ahead of the game, a large Canadian flag was unfurled in the outfield, with Blue Jays players and coaches assisting armed forces members in carrying the flag. A pair of CF-18 Hornets also flew over the Rogers Centre to mark the occasion.
And a high fly ball to left center field. It's going, and it is gone!
As far as the game goes, George Springer gave the Jays a 5-run lead with a grand slam in the 7th inning. The Jays are currently winning 12-4 in the 9th. The teams will continue their series tomorrow evening.
Former Maple Leafs forward Mitch Marner has released a statement after being traded to the Las Vegas Golden Knights yesterday. In a post on Instagram, Marner writes, "Leaving isn't easy. This city is where I grew up, where I fell in love with hockey, and where I've had the incredible honor of living out my childhood dream. Wearing the Maple Leaf on my chest wasn't just about playing for a team. It was about representing my home. To the fans, thank you. Playing in Toronto is special because of you. I'll always be grateful for my time here. And most of all, I'm so proud to have been a Toronto Maple Leaf." Marner inked an 8-year, $96 million deal as part of a sign-and-trade with the Golden Knights. In return, the Leafs received 28-year-old forward Nicholas Waugh, who racked up 31 points in 71 games last year.
It was a good feeling. Obviously shocked a little bit at first, but kind of learned about it a couple of days ago. So now I feel really good about got time to reflect and look at everything, and really excited to join the Leafs for sure.
The Leafs are also bringing in Michael Pizzata. TSN hockey insider Pierre LeBrun says the free agent forward agreed to a 2-year, $1.575 million deal today. The 27-year-old Toronto native has 15 goals and 38 points in 200 career games, all with the Montreal Canadiens. Yesterday, Toronto acquired Matthias Michelli from the Utah Mammoth in exchange for a conditional third-round draft pick. Toronto FC has cut ties with Italian players Lorenzo Insigne and Federico Bernardeschi. The club has used its 2 permitted buyouts on guaranteed deals to cut ties with the players. Both arrived in 2022, but have been unable to turn the team's fortunes around. TFC has not reached the playoffs since 2020. Insigne was set to make $15.4 million this season, the second highest mark in MLS. Meanwhile, Bernardeschi was set to earn just under $6.3 million, the 6th most in the league.
NBA champion Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has signed a contract extension, making him the highest paid player in the league. The Hamilton native has inked a 4-year, $285 million extension with the Oklahoma City Thunder. That works out to roughly $389 million Canadian. The 26-year-old led to the Thunder to their first ever NBA title, while also winning regular season MVP and finals MVP along the way. Meanwhile, ESPN is reporting that the Raptors have agreed to a 4-year, $104 million extension with Jakob Poeltl. I mean, that's okay. The 29-year-old center averaged 14.5 points and nearly 10 rebounds a game last season. The extension means Poeltl will remain a Raptor through the 2029-2030 season. First responders recently gathered in British Columbia to highlight the need for specialized treat for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Now those on the front line are sharing the first-hand experiences. CTV's health reporter Pauline Shan has more.
They are the people who protect us from war, from crime, from fires. But how do we protect them?
It would feel like I was about to be sick, nausea.
Jonathan Williams was in policing for 12 years, and he loved it, but the job took its toll.
You can't really get away too far because you're in a marked police car and you're in a uniform and you're expected to act. But I would find a cul-de-sac or some safe place and bawl my eyes out. And that's when I knew I couldn't, I wasn't able to control it.
We have first responders from across the country and from different areas, fire, police.
During a recent symposium in Kelowna, BC, the focus was on the specific needs of first responders.
It doesn't meet the needs, and we cookie cutter everything.
Former OPP officer Laura Kloosterman calls the situation devastating, and not just for first responders, but also their families. And it's costing lives.
Suicide in first responders and public safety personnel is an epidemic. It's astronomical. And the people that are not overtly dying, it's the installment program. They're killing themselves with drugs and alcohol.
She points to the need for specialized programs.
You don't want to spend the first 3 days of any kind of treatment program just telling people what you do. It has to be the fact that they understand trauma.
The trauma that they encounter during a week of their time being on the job, it's probably what most individuals will encounter during their lifespan. So that's a unique group.
In fact, for those needing residential treatment, many first responders get sent to addiction programs, even though they have no addictions. This traumatic stress recovery program in Kelowna was the first place Williams felt safe talking openly about his PTSD.
I'm not always the one that's protecting everybody. I can let my guard down.
Derek Shanko of the Diversified Rehab Group says there's also organizational stigma to worry about.
I may lose my badge, I may lose my job, I might be suspended.
He says the unique needs of first responders are slowly being recognized.
Not necessarily spending or asking government to spend more money or any other organizations, is just removing the barriers, the silos, so we can work together.
For many, the aim is to build a new mental health routine and return to the job they love. Jonathan Williams began singing as part of his therapy, but he's now left policing, diving fully into music with the confidence that he will be okay. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Tonight, a patriotic push during uncertain times.
As the world becomes more divided and dangerous, Canadians are united.
Thousands gather in the nation's capital to mark a memorable Canada Day. Later on CTV National News.
A U.S. judge is now weighing arguments in the legal battle between Drake and Universal Music over Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Drake is suing Universal, the label which represents both him and Lamar, over claims the lyrics to Lamar's hit are slanderous. Universal has called for the suit to be dismissed, arguing the song is an example of traditional rap battle trash talk. Neither Drake nor Lamar were in court for a recent hearing.
Big news tonight for fans of BTS. The K-pop supergroup will launch its next album in the spring ahead of a world tour. The group will travel to the U.S. this month to begin work on the album. It will be the first full-length release since 2020, and the tour will be the first for BTS in about 4 years. The members put their music career on hold in 2022 to begin their mandatory military service in South Korea. They have now reunited after fulfilling their duty. Still to come, an update of tonight's top stories.
And getting a hold of a special Canadian flag.
It's something that is surreal, like unless you to actually feel it and know where it came from and the history behind it.
We'll have more on those who received flags which were flown on Parliament Hill. That story when we return.
It's a challenging time, but I really love this country. It's an honest country, it's a fair country, and I really came here to support everything having to do with Canada.
Updating our top stories, Canada Day celebrations in the city. Thousands of people gathered in East York this morning to take in the annual Canada Day parade.
As the world becomes more divided and dangerous, Canadians are uniting. Together, we will build one Canadian economy.
Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered a Canada Day message focused on how the country will weather the ongoing trade war with the U.S. Carney also made time to meet with Canadians who attended celebrations on Parliament Hill today.
The yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being evenly divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
And the U.S. Senate has passed President Donald Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill. The legislation includes a major tax cut, with The Economist saying it'll add more than $3 trillion to the U.S. national debt over the next decade.
Don't forget to follow us on social media and keep up to date day and night through our website, ctvnewstoronto.ca. And if you have a news tip, photos, or video of breaking news, let us know.
While it won't be hard to spot a Canadian flag today, there's a special club of people who own flags that are part of history.
The exclusive group actually grows every day and comes at a time when waving the red and white carries a deeper meaning. The Canadian flag that flies high above the Peace Tower in the nation's capital is replaced every weekday. And once a week, the flags flown on the East and West Bloc are also replaced and shipped to some very lucky Canadians.
It's something that is surreal, like unless you to actually feel it and know where it came from and the history behind it, it's hard to believe. And people are in awe, and they realize how lucky that I am to be able to have that flag.
Glenn Hamilton of Bracebridge signed up for the program 12 years ago online. Since 1994, more than 11,000 flags have been taken down and shipped across the country. The program has become so popular that those on the wait list will be waiting more than 100 years.
We have a flagpole. We fly the Canadian flag every day, and we fly this flag on Canada Day only due to the fact of it flew on Parliament Hill, and it's something you want to be able to hand down to your grandkids.
While not everyone can get those coveted flags, demand to fly the red and white has soared this year. And helping fill that need is the Flag Store in Thornton, Ontario, which has been in business since 1965.
We're known for our nylon flags
They're heavy duty, sewn together, nylon. We trace and cut out our emblems.
From pennant flags to complete kits, including a pole, there's no shortage of options. And customers feel it's more important than ever right now to publicly show their patriotism.
Born and raised in Canada, and forever will be here. And I will stop Donald Trump from taking over.
The strained relationship between Canada and the United States has led to soaring sales for souvenir shops like this one in Toronto. Owner Sak Gupta says the elbows up mentality has led to booming business.
We have sold caps. We have sold lapel pins. In fact, lapel pin that goes on your lapel, on your coat, I sold unbelievable number, maybe 50,000 pieces.
And whether it's a small pin or large flag, it's a powerful gesture of pride this Canada Day. A number of new laws have come into effect this Canada Day. Starting today, app-based gig workers such as rideshare drivers and food delivery couriers are entitled to a regular minimum wage of $17.20 per hour. The workers will also be able to receive information from their employer about their pay and tips under the province's digital platform Workers' Rights Act.
Still to come, front row seats for The Lion King.
A couple from Ajax are using their musical talents to help bring the popular production to life.
It's exciting. Every time that we do it, for me, it's a new show.
It was just amazing. Like, I got the part and my husband got the part, so we both, it's the perfect match.
We'll have more on their musical journey when we come back.
A couple from Ajax have a front row seat to one of the most successful theater productions in the city.
The pair are both musicians and are helping bring The Lion King to life on stage. CTV's Carol Charles reports.
While most eyes are on the spectacular show on stage of The Lion King, if you look stage right, we have Joaquin Nunez, and stage left, his wife Dialis Machado. In the spring of 2024, the couple auditioned for Front of House Percussion 1 and 2 and were selected to be part of the critically acclaimed musical. They are honored to be part of this show since the beginning of its Toronto run at the Princess of Wales Theatre last fall.
It's exciting. Every time that we do it, for me, it's a new show.
It was just amazing. Like, I got the part and my husband got the part, so we both, it's the perfect match.
For the couple, it's more than a show, it's an experience.
We have the best of the two worlds. We can see the show every day, we can see what is happening on the stage, but we can also see the reaction of the audience, and we can even get to interact to the audience.
In addition to the 8 shows a week, they make time to perform on another stage every Sunday at the Pickering Pentecostal Church. It's a musical juggling act.
We gotta learn out the music for the service on Sunday, basically on the go. We try to do it between shows. For me, the number one priority is God. Everything else it will come to happen.
What I found at church was a community, was the family that we didn't have here. And church gave me the opportunity to actually use the talent and the gift that have been given to me by God, right? Which is music.
That talent, born in their native Cuba, where they both began playing percussion at a young age.
From 9 years old, 10 years old, music was all what I want to do.
Emigrating to Canada in 1999, his music career has garnered a Juno Award and a Grammy Award nomination. His other stage musical credits include Dirty Dancing and Tina the Musical. While many refer to Joaquin and Dialis as a power couple, they prefer to be called God's couple. When not at church, you could catch Joaquin and Dialis at the Lion King performance at the Princess of Wales Theatre. The production runs until August 30th. Carol Charles, CTV News.
Well, before we go, here's a live look at some boats and Sea-Doos having a great time this Canada Day weekend. This shot is just north of Billy Bishop Airport, and it seems like all the boats are respecting that new rule that's in effect. You have to be a certain amount of distance away from the shoreline. It seems like everyone's doing that, so it's nice to see people having some nice, safe and fun. Let's take a look at the temperatures before we let you go. In the city of Hamilton, 27 degrees, feeling like 32, feeling like 34 in Niagara Falls. This is your evening at a glance. Currently 26 degrees, still feeling like 31 when you factor in the humidex. There is a 30% chance of showers this evening. However, everything should clear before 8 p.m. and that's good news for everyone who wants to take in the fireworks at Ashbridges Bay Park, which gets underway at 10 p.m. Sunset is at 9:03. Shaping up to be a great day tomorrow, feeling like 28 when you factor in the humidex. Similar conditions on Friday. And then looking ahead to next weekend, there may be some showers, a 30% chance. Temperatures at the 30 mark, and the overnight lows are at 20. So we start to warm up again for those overnight temperatures. So hopefully you have AC or wearing some light clothing. Looking ahead to next week on Tuesday, it looks like there could be some serious showers and potentially some thunder showers. 70% chance is what it's looking right now, and still quite warm. It'll feel like 33 when you factor in the humidex. That could change as the week progresses, but certainly something to be mindful of. Soraya.
July's coming in hot. Looks good. All right, that is CTV News at 6. Be sure to join us tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by our local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and online at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you at 11:30. And happy Canada Day.
That's a good point.